Are you being starved to death? I'm fixing to come out. It's fixing to get better. Yeah, I'm coming. Stripe, the food's over here. You're getting wet. I mean, I realize it's not raining that much, but it is raining. Marty's fur, top of Marty's fur is wet. He's not soaked or nothing, and it's in the 50s out here this morning, so he's not going to freeze, but let me go get Stripe. Tux is up on the platform doing his thing. I'm out of chicken, but I've got a chicken. I'm going to cook the chicken today. Hi. Hi. It's paper time. I know, well, if it would ever stop raining, I have no doubt that you would get right on that, but it's basically raining every 12 hours here right now, so even I don't want you to waste your time.
Yeah, because it's very depressing when you wash the car and it rains immediately. Right.
We'll have to check the forecast again. I think the rain is no more rain till like Wednesday after today, but I couldn't promise it. We'll check it out. And then the temperatures, see if it's not too cold to get out the hose.
Okay.
Because you know when the rain leaves, the temperatures go down.
That's right. Hopefully you chase the cat.
Yeah, Stripe got concerned. Have fun. Be careful. I finally talked Mr. Spider into building his web off to the side instead of right out the door. Thank you. Well, everybody's doing good this morning. I sure hope this rain clears up for our walk. It would be nice if it dried out just a little bit before we went this morning. Careful walking out here this morning. It's not so much the wet boardwalk as it is the slimy wet leaves on the boardwalk. Good morning, Ruby. It's Friday. Uh-oh. Well, Ruby did put up the message that she spotted the emergency vehicles. She says I can tap the accelerator if I want to cancel. Whatever's going on here has just happened. I'm going to take her out just out of an abundance of caution. Yeah, there was a 4-car incident there in the left lane, and the fireman put up his hand and asked me to stop while they piled out of the fire truck, which I complied with easily, and I wasn't going very fast. Autopilot had already slowed me down, and the cars in front of me had slowed. So they got out, and then he told me I could go past, which I did. The accident was confined to the left lane and the median, so I imagine people will continue to be able to get around on the right. We'll probably back up traffic a little bit. Johnny and I certainly hope no one was hurt. I'm guessing it was a change lane kind of a deal, because one of the cars that I was able to see had damage on the right side. But what happens is, you know, commuters, they travel this road every day, and they know that you typically have to stop at that light, and there's those 2 hills, crests in the road leading up to the intersection, and sometimes traffic comes to a stop pretty quick, and then sometimes people that are in a rush, they jerk out of the lane that they're in to try to switch lanes so that they can either run the light or be in a position to get around slow-moving vehicles in the right lane. And yeah, I can see how an accident could occur there. Glad we weren't involved in it. It's amazing the times in your life where just a few seconds make a lot of difference. Yeah, I was just thinking how similar Latham Residence Hall here looked to Scott Hall on the UNCC campus. They were probably built about the same time frame. Weston Hall down here is a slightly different building, but yeah. So before I take off home, while I'm stopped here over at St. Monica's, I was thinking about what's going on in the Tesla world and what we could talk about for a minute this morning. At the suggestion of one of our friends, we did check out the Dirty Tesla video last night on the upcoming quote-unquote holiday release, and it did sound like there were some cool things potentially coming in there. Even though I have a iPhone, I have an Apple device. I don't currently have Apple Music, and I'm probably not likely to add it. I do have Apple Music Match. I started that Christmas, like probably the first year it came out, because at that point I had a lot of CDs and things that were sucked into iTunes. And if I understand it correctly, that gave me credit to like the music in the music library, and then I could play it on any device. And I don't know if it's really still doing good stuff for me or not, but probably. It's like $25 a year, and it seems to come up every Christmas. So, but anyway, talk about Apple Music coming to the car. I don't have Spotify. I just use the in-car music, or I listen to audiobooks, and I'm pretty happy with that. Or what's on in my iPhone library, because, you know, I'm old, and all my music I like's mostly already on my iPhone. But never say never, right? I think when I got the last set of AirPods, I got so many months free of Apple Music, so there's a chance I would turn it on for the free period, which is several months, and then put a calendar notice on to go cancel it. Or sometimes they'll let you cancel it right away, so you don't have to come back and remember, and it, you know, you still get to listen for the free period, because you of course can always go and uncancel, but you know, they want you to forget. And being able to kick off sounded like a lot of using the app to do stuff, like very app intensive now. Like, you know, the first 3 years of ownership with Ruby, it would be unlikely for me to have opened up the Tesla app more than once a week. Is she plugged in? Yes or no? How many, what's her current range left on her? Do I have the charge rate set to where I wanted? I mean, there was just a very few reasons to log in and look, and now there's a ton of reasons, and they're fixing to add more. So you should be knowledgeable and attached to your Tesla app, I think. That's sounding like the direction to go. But a new song coming out, and the ability to start the light show from the phone, that's probably cool. I don't love having to get back inside Ruby to start the light show when we're places where we're showing the car, talking to people. However, usually when we're standing around, everything is open, including potentially some windows. And one of the reasons for getting back in the car to start the light show is to close all that stuff up, because like right now in Ruby, I can't close the windows from the app. Now, I wouldn't have to sit. I could just come over and do it from the door while standing. But, yeah, I don't know. Everything's got to be closed and the windows up in order for it to work. You know, as it is, I've got to, like, close the frunk in the front if the frunk is open when we're showing. So, in theory, it sounds good. You'd be able to do it from outside the car, and that might really work for 3s and Ys and even S's. It's probably a little more complicated for the X if you're showing the car versus the car's just sitting there parked in your driveway and you decide you want to do the show. Well then, okay, because everything is closed. So, cool. There were some other things he mentioned. A new to me, I hadn't heard it before, garage door opening protocol, one that knows about whether the door is actually opened or closed. You might remember we have a switch on our garage doors now that allows Amazon and Google, A&G, to send commands to the door to either open or close them, and it knows which it is. Like, you can ping it and ask it. So the fact that that technology's out there is not a surprise. But Homelink, which I was explaining to Johnny, has been around for forever. I was going to say 30 years at least. I don't know how. I mean, you know, Don installed the garage doors on the garage in 99 or 2000, something like that, because he lived in the house for a while and there weren't garage doors on the garage, and the garage wasn't finished. You know, Don did all the sheetrock and stuff inside the garage, and him and JB worked on some things together when JB would come up, but Don did, you know, the vast majority of it. And so at least 2000, that would be 22 years, right? but I'm sure it's a few more. Homelink's been around even a few more years than that. So I think this other technology, well, I want to say it was MoveQ or QMove, something like that. And it would basically be an app on your phone that worked with your garage door opener. Apparently the Tesla app may be already also talking to it. So anyway, I didn't really want to go over everything that Dirty Tesla said. You can go watch their video. But it was kind of cool to see. And let's see what else. Dawn's doing good about getting on Twitter every day. I think I've missed one day, but I've been on there most days. We read everything Elon says, and we tend to read everything Sean Baker says. Sean Baker is a carnivore guy. He posts a lot of pictures of steaks. It makes me and Dawn hungry. So there's some interaction out there with him. And yeah. So it's 48, and I think it sort of feels like 38 out there. It's just kind of that damp cold. When I got out of the car, of course I'm not wearing a jacket. I didn't really want to stay out there too long, even though I was moving around and swinging my arms and trying to exercise for a minute. I was ready to get back to my heated seat in my comfortably warm car. But I'm going to go home and be a good girl, and I'm going to go for a walk. There was another study out yesterday talking about, God, they had a new acronym, and even though I'm like an IBM person and I have 500 acronyms floating around in my head, I don't remember. It started with the V. It was talking about, you know, Dawn is into high intensity, you know, when he runs up and down the hill sometimes, which is hard to motivate yourself to do, especially in the morning, and you want another cup of coffee, or maybe you want a nap, or it's cold, or it's hot, or the grass is wet. There's always like, it's just hard. The motivation's hard. We still fully believe in it. My knee's not good enough to run up and down that hill right now, but, this was basically saying 3 or 4 times a day doing your normal chores around the house. If you would just go into, I'm calling it Energizer bunny mode for a minute or two, that is probably enough of a hit to have significant health benefits. So, like, you need the mail from the mailbox, and instead of sauntering out, and I know our route would definitely do this, you decide to run to the mailbox, grab the mail, and run to the house. You know, just a short burst. You know, you don't need an hour or whatever. Anyway, there was more evidence out there about doing these short burst activities. So, Dawn and I kind of vowed we would start that again. I'm not sure what one I can do right now with my knee giving me a lot of trouble. You know, I spend a lot of time trying not to injure myself in a way that will sideline me. So not falling, not tripping, not having my knee totally decide I can't walk on it. Yeah, so I don't know. I have to think about it, what I could do that would qualify for this, but it seems worthwhile if you're up to doing it, if you can do it. I know Dawn's sort of remotivated again to start doing it. Yeah. Anyway, that's what's on my brain this morning. Try to share a little bit, and I'll be picking Johnny up at noon. He's home this weekend. He does have 2 hours worth of, hour and a half actually worth of Taekwondo tonight. And then tomorrow they're having their Christmas party. And Johnny says it's going to be interesting to see how it is to be on the business end of the party, because he's volunteering as one of the instructor trainees. And that tomorrow will mean, you know, putting protection plastic down on the mat and cleaning stuff up at the end and vacuuming, and, you know, he'll be helping. So he's going to be over there for a good part of the day. So it's good it was scheduled after most of his school is done. He says he does not have a like end of semester exam. When the camera overheats, you know you've talked too long, because that's about 10 minutes. All I was trying to say is, no AP Stats exams between now and Christmas. He's working on a couple of projects. He's got to show up every day. They're having colleges come in and talk to them in the morning for some of that time that he's there, besides him eating lunch and hanging with friends before I pick him up. But But I don't think it's anything else stressful, except for he is doing a couple of college admissions. There's a special engineering application to ECU once you've been accepted to ECU, and he's still following through. You know, he's not canceled any of his options yet. He's still doing whatever it would take to get into the universities that have made offers or ready to do what he needs to do for additional offers. We keep on checking for UNCC every day, and so far they haven't. They had promised a response by January the 30th. They didn't say you couldn't receive one sooner, though. And since he had his stuff in, we were certainly hoping for sooner. January 30th seems like an eternity to have to wait right now, but I'm sure that'll be here in a flash. So, but I don't think he has any super stress between now and Christmas. So that's nice. He needs a break. He really does before spring starts. I'm sure all the rain this week is slowing down this turn lane construction here. Because seriously, it seemed like it's rained every time we've turned around. Just on the other side of this light is where the accident scene was this morning, kind of in that low spot. Somewhere between here and where that red pickup truck is in the turn area. Hopefully that accident didn't happen because somebody tried to use that turn area that doesn't have a turn lane. At any point, the accident's all cleared. I'll film for just a bit more just to see if there's anything interesting in the median or skid marks or something, but there's still a good bit of traffic over there, so you can't see really good right now. This intersection is up for redesign because it's got this funky 2 pass on this side over here. No clue what happened this morning other than the normal morning shenanigans probably. I am on autopilot and Ruby thankfully did take off there pretty good. Tell her to get me out of the passing lane. Not that there's anybody close behind me. What you doing down here, Stripe? You hunting squirrel? Time to get off the driveway, bud. Well, he's normally quite afraid of the car, so I'm surprised that he didn't move quicker. This is where Ruby's grindy suspension comes in handy sometimes. Well, we're out here. Definitely feeling like winter today. I'm just getting myself all worked up looking at what they did to my tree. Yeah, especially, yeah, this limb here. I just, you know, I understand it's all about insurance, but apparently that's the only tree they touched. I can't see that they did anything to any of the other trees, so why did we have to pick on that one? I mean, this thing here, I don't know, it looks like cherry bark. I don't remember what it is, but that's probably was a volunteer. It is coming close to the sidewalk. Then this other same tree actually has some lower branches, but they didn't take out this one that's coming right off the side of the trunk here. Even I'd be okay with taking that one off. So I don't know. I'll try not to mention it again. I see the pruning spots and it's almost like I'm in pain right along with the tree. It's a really damp day out here today, that damp cold. This car hauler has obviously taken some cars down. This place across the street is usually where they end up, Stevenson's. They sell some work trucks and vans in particular, and maybe some other vehicles. I thought you guys might enjoy seeing this beautiful Sasanqua camellia, which is actually supposed to be blooming right now. Most of the ones I have in the yard, possibly all, have the lighter color pink. It basically comes in dark pink and light pink for the Sasanqua. Donnie, nobody wanted to share the walk with us this morning.
Yeah, we got the place all to ourselves.
That's right. Or there's one or two people up at South Park, but not a lot. We haven't
smiling either.
Yeah, we haven't seen our lady friends in eons now. Like I said, the Handy's had surgery on her ankle, so she's out of commission for that reason, and I guess it's just too cold for Rosa to be up there at 85. Maybe 1 or 2 days it was okay, but our timing was off or something. I need to check in on her, send her an email. I'm on my way to get Johnny. Coming up Judd Parkway twice, Ruby put on her turn signal with no intention to turn or anything else. I kicked her out of autopilot there because, again, there's 10, 15 cars behind me. It's pretty heavy traffic, and when she goes through that intersection, she goes left instead of getting into the right lane, and I need to go right up here very soon, and that just doesn't work very well. So I would like to have let her handle that, but it's just less stress on me, I guess, and safer, I think, too, if I just go ahead and get over myself as I go through the intersection. And then now, of course, everything back through town is pretty straightforward, so I'll put her back in autopilot. You know, if I didn't like taking off fast at the lights, I would be really miffed right now, because that is like the 5th I've stopped at every freaking light coming out of town today. Ah, Fridays in Fuquay. Inline Auto Sales has a white Model X on the lot, silver door handles, so it's not new. Johnny probably wouldn't like it if I stopped and looked on the way home, but I really want to go check it out. Put it on front. Don't hide it back there. Hello back there. Well, I'm glad to see that they did make a little bit more progress on getting it paved today. And they may not be done for the day, although maybe that layer should cure before they do the next layer. Anyway, progress. As I said before, I'll be happier when they're done with that. What they do up there on the hill is not a problem, but, you know, what they do down there with the road and closing lanes, does impact all of us driving out here. I'm going to work on the Christmas Village Town Hall for a little bit, and I scrolled ahead. Let's see, what step is this? This is step 257. I'm on step 33, by the way. I wanted to see what all those special things on the floor were going to work out to be. And you can see it's basically desks and a little coffee station, and somebody's brought in some packages, and it's got a lot of stuff in there. So I do sort of understand why certain things are certain colors now, I guess. I just dropped Johnny off at Taekwondo. I was enjoying looking at Zaxby's prior to the Walmart truck. You know, sometimes my timing is just great. I'll be back to pick up Johnny in 90 minutes or so, give or take. Trying to figure out why I'm having such a hard time with focus on my evening shots. It seems the camera has gotten worse. Part of the problem is there is dirt inside the lens, and this camera does not have a way for you to clean that without literally drilling a hole and sticking a Q-tip in there, and I've never wanted to do that. Anyway, Zaxby's is pretty. You'll just have to take my word for it. I am back from picking up Johnny and bringing him home. I gave up trying to record anything while it's dark outside because of the focus issues. I'm just done with it right now. This is how far I got on the building. When I was home, in between dropping him off and picking him up, I did install another layer or two, but not too much in the little gutters in the front. These are supposed to be tan, and I don't have it in tan. So when I get tan, I'll have to replace it. Right, Nighttime? Will you help me? You gonna help me? Hi. 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 Hi, sweetheart. Good girl.